What's up, everybody? So today we're continuing our talk on getting through stalls, and today's talk is all about exercise. Coming up next. What's up, everybody? So as we continue our talk about getting through stalls, today's is all about exercise. Now, if you'll notice, I don't talk about exercise a whole lot because at the end of the day, exercise is not as big of a factor at weight loss as getting your diet and nutrition in place. You know, there's a saying that says you can't out-train a bad diet, and that's very, very true. So it really kind of comes down to nutrition is key overall. Exercise accounts for maybe 10 to 15% of your overall weight loss, but overall your nutrition is going to be the biggest factor. Now, exercise is still important. I think it's important for overall health and well-being, cardiovascular health, all that kind of stuff helps reduce stress, all those kind of things. So it is important. And when we talk about doing stalls, especially if you haven't been doing a lot of exercise, or maybe you've just been doing the same things over and over again, that can be something that you lean into when it comes to getting through a stall. And so really I just want to talk about what can you do when it comes to exercise. So when we talk about exercise, what are we talking about here? The one thing I don't want to leave you with, or the message I don't want you to hear, is I don't want, and I see people do this all the time, where it's like, well, I'm not losing weight, so all of a sudden they're in the gym, 6-7 days a week, an hour to 2 hours a day. They're just absolutely killing themselves. They go back to almost eating nothing. That's just not a healthy way to look at exercise. So like for me, what I'm going to be doing is as I look at how can I break through a stall, how can I keep momentum going, honestly, 3 to 4 days a week tops. For me, most of the time, we're talking Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And what I'm doing in those cases are generally a little bit higher cardio with some moderate to light strength training. That's really it. I am not out here killing myself. My workouts probably go about a half an hour total. That includes my warm-up. That doesn't necessarily include stretching, but it does include a warm-up. But overall, there's not a whole lot of stuff you need to do this. Going for a walk, doing jumping jacks, jumping rope, all those things you can do for free or relatively, incredibly inexpensively. Air squats, push-ups, sit-ups, all of those things are things that you can do to help get your heart rate up and to keep it elevated. It's about putting exercise in its proper place. Not getting to a point where you destroy yourself, not getting a point where you're just, literally running yourself into unhealth because you're overtraining, which is what a lot of people do. They go from no exercise and swing way over here to just absolutely, way too much training. I want you to think about, hey, if I'm stalled right now, what am I doing when it comes to exercise? If you're not doing anything, maybe consider adding a couple of days a week of something, moderate exercise. If you're doing a little bit of exercise, what can you do to maybe not add more days or time, but maybe add intensity? One of the things that I love is high intensity interval training. It's called HIIT training, and I do that are based on semi CrossFit style workouts. But by and large, you pick things that you enjoy, and then just kind of try to up the intensity if you're already doing a little bit of exercise. Remember that as we're talking about getting through stalls, we're talking about changing things, doing something different, shaking your body up, shaking your muscles up, shaking your mind up. All of those types of things. One other quick side note is that I have been, over the last probably 6 months or so, when I do exercise, I've been exercising fasted. I know that that's not something a lot of people either like to do or can do, and that's totally fine. But for me, I enjoy it because I used to, eat something before working out, and I would always feel like crap. It had a negative impact on me. And when I started exercising fasted, I didn't notice those types of things. However, it is important to note that when you do exercise fasted, I'm just going to tell you right now, if you've never done it before, it can be a shock to your system as well, because you'll notice your strength is not as much, your stamina is not as much. All of those things are decreased because your body just doesn't have the stores there. You're tapping into your internal stores instead of getting the quick burst that it would get from the energy of the food that you just ate. So for me, I kind of like that as well. So I don't look at the being weaker or not being able to endure as long as being that big of a deal because of the trade-off that I'm getting in my exercise. But by and large, again, I just want you to not get an unhealthy view of exercise if you're stalled, because again, I know we start to panic. It's like, oh my gosh, I've been working so hard and I'm trying to lose weight and nothing's happening. I got to start exercising, and you just go full go. I want to encourage you to keep a healthy view of exercise. Add a couple of days a week. If you're already doing a couple days, maybe add another day, or again, as I said, up the intensity. But keep exercise as something that you do, and just keep it in a healthy light. You know what? I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do this for my health. I'm not going to absolutely destroy myself. I'm going to work hard, but at the end of the day, that's going to be it. Be right back. Sorry about that. I had just literally got done with my workout, like 170 heart rate, whatever it is. Not a good time to sit down and talk, but I wanted to, something that occurred to me. Going right from doing nothing or a little bit of exercise into fully fasted exercise is a lot right out of the gate. Again, I just want to encourage you to kind of ease into it a little bit. Again, we're talking about getting through a stall by trying to make a series of small changes at a time. The other thing too, really quickly, if you haven't exercised before or you're just starting to exercise, don't be surprised, especially if you incorporate a little bit of weight training. Don't be surprised if you actually gain a couple of pounds that first week or two that you're doing that, even if you're doing everything else right. You're not actually gaining weight. What's happening is you are likely building a little bit of muscle. Muscle is, and I would actually check your measurements, forget the scale. Muscle is more dense at the same weight, so 5 pounds of muscle is going to be smaller than 5 pounds of fat because it's denser material. And so don't freak out if you do start working out. Maybe you haven't exercised before, or you're just starting after a long time, or you up it for the first time, or start incorporating some weight training for the first time. You can start to notice a small gain for those couple of weeks. But what you're actually doing is a really good thing. You're gaining a little bit of muscle. Muscle is what's going to incorporate, or being able to actually burn the fat anyway. So most people that do that put on a couple of pounds of muscle to burn a lot more fat down the road. So don't worry about that, but I do want to make you aware of it just in case. All right, everybody, so I want to thank you for continuing to watch as we look at ways that we can break through these stalls. If you're enjoying content like this or getting something out of it, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you do, please go to the channel, click subscribe, and then click on the little bell icon, which will turn on notifications. That'll keep you up to date as when I put out new content. Please like the video. That really does help me out. And please drop a comment below. A few people are starting to comment here lately, which has been great. And let's get a conversation going. Let's talk about ways that you're maybe breaking through your own stalls, or whether or not some of this has worked for you, or maybe it's not. We can try to tweak some things together. I'd love for us to work together on this to help you get through your stall as I'm trying to work through my own here as well. Regardless of all that, I want to just say thank you for just giving me your time. Your time is valuable, and the fact that you would spend some of it here with me is more appreciated than you will ever know. So thank you again for everything, and I will see you next time.